Terran Lab Show.
The Terran Lab Show.
The Terran Lab Show.
The Terran Lab Show.
It's the Terran Lab Show.
It's the Terran Lab Show.
Where the topic of discussion is you.
So let's go.
Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? This is the Terran Lab Show. In each episode, we are going to dive into the incredible stories of those in our communities making a difference. We have teamed up with Chicago News Weekly to bring you the health and wellness journeys of those around us shaping our world. I am your host, Terran Lamp. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. Today, we have Andrea Polk, a transformational entrepreneur, wellness educator, and visionary brand strategist. Dedicated to helping individuals heal, grow, and align with their authentic purpose. As the founder of Solo Noir and Zen Soul Apothecary, she has spent over 13 years building purpose-driven brands rooted in wellness, empowerment, and self-discovery. After overcoming her own personal health and financial challenges, Andrea transformed Test into Testimonies. I love that. Blending spirituality, storytelling, and mindfulness and business strategy, she creates spaces where healing, wellness, entrepreneurship can coexist, inspiring others to turn their pain into purpose and their vision into impact. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me. So I want to start, first of all, thank you for this.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's
We're going to open this.
beautiful
We're
treat.
going to
I
open
wanted
this
to give to
treat. I wanted to start because the apothecary. Now, I know what I think it means.
Correct.
And I think a lot of us know what we think it means. But give us like what it is. Like how do you define it? Define what it is.
So before there were pharmacies and things like that, there were apothecaries. And an apothecary, defined by me, is a place where you could find healing, find balance, find grounding, either through herbs, mindfulness, and breath. So I have products that support the healing journey.
Okay.
However, the house that I call Zen Soul Apothecary is a place where people can find healing, balance, and grounding, whether it's through herbs, breathing practices, movement, education, etc.
So it's not just the product, it's also the experience.
Exactly.
Is what I hear you saying.
Exactly, yes.
Because I think of it, when I think of an apothecary, I think of kind of almost going in somewhere and picking up something and coming out with something, and then I say, I went there. But I don't really think about the experience of being in there.
Correct. So I have done wellness sections where people came in feeling ungrounded, unsafe, stressed. They came in and they left feeling well, more balanced, understanding their journey. So that's why I coined it as an apothecary, because even though you may not leave with a physical product, you are leaving with your soul being more filled than what you came in as.
So what is that? I don't think this one was on there, but what is that? When you say you do a session, what does that mean? Tell us.
So I call my sessions, I have a few. I call them Divinely Guided or Zen Reset.
Okay.
So essentially, you come to the space. I get a sense of the energy that's within. We do like a quick little, how are you showing up today? If you're feeling heavy, et cetera. Everybody says how they're showing up. And then from that, I present you with different breath practices, movements, chakra balancing, mindfulness, and sound. So that's so divinely giving them what they need, more so me channeling what's needed for them so they can walk out feeling more complete.
So more so them telling you what they need than you telling them what they need.
Exactly.
Is what I hear you saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got it. And I think that's important because, our bodies will give off certain things. And I do think sometimes when we go into practices, a lot of people tell you what you need.
Exactly. So the body is so advanced.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't tap in to just listen.
Yeah.
So I say I'm a catalyst for people to remember who they are. So when I'm doing a sound healing session, I tell them to be still and listen to their body. What is your body telling you? What parts of your body is resonating with a sound or a movement? When you're moving, what area is stuck? So you are listening to yourself and you are either relaying that to me or allowing that connection with your body to tell you what's needed.
Okay. Got it. And again, I want to go back to this. It's an experience. I mean, we do think of products and we think of things that we can walk away with, but we we don't think about the experience.
Exactly.
So it sounds like also you said overcoming your own personal health and financial challenges kind of got you into this work. So let's go back a little bit and revisit like what you're like lighting up, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But also like the challenges got you here.
I'm lighting up because only God got me.
So do tell us.
Okay.
Tell us what got you here.
I am a forever entrepreneur.
Okay.
And I would say a lot of things got me to the space of my body being unwell.
Okay.
I was growing my business in the hustle, don't sleep kind of era. I'm a single mom, so that takes away from me feeding into myself. And then the life stresses and all those things. And then COVID happened. Yeah. And when the world was stopped, my physical body was intensely feeling what everybody was going through. And I didn't know what was going on. So I've always been a healthy eater. I've been a vegetarian for years, I've shifted my diet. I've always been a collector of different types of metaphysical books and how to heal your body. And when I was doing everything that I could do and nothing was changing. So let me give you a visual. I had eczema all over my body. So it was deeply rooted within the bone where I couldn't even move because my skin was split. So high inflammation, autoimmune, like my body was just doing a Control-Alt-Delete. And I would look in the mirror and did not see, I didn't even know who the person was. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you're interesting, but we're here. So I started learning, like, why isn't the physical body healing when you are doing everything?
All the things,
right. So then I started looking into, okay, we're not just a physical body, we're an energetic body. You know, so we have energy. How could I shift the energy within the body? So I started working on mindfulness, affirmations, literally telling myself, looking in the mirror, you are healed, you are beautiful, release what needs to be released. I was intentionally touching myself, learning about the chakras and how the chakra energetic centers hold on to certain traumas, and then visually releasing those through sound, movement, hugging tree, all the things that I used to do when I was younger, and I was like, oh, this is weird, you know? Yeah. I started tapping back into those things. And I think one of the biggest part of my journey is because if you think about the physical body as a woman, you're used to showing up, you know, the way that you are. But, you know, whether you lose your hair, you lose your looks, it's like, okay, now what do I do for myself? So I had to fall in love with the person that I was, release the old version of me. Yeah. And if nothing changed, be in love with that version of myself. But then also stop living in the shame. I was so shameful. I'm like, I don't want to show up like this. I don't want people to see me. But then once I started sharing my story on social media, I literally felt the weight come off of the shoulders, and I started to feel better, and I started loving myself even more. So within that journey, I started blending up tea recipes. I believe it was my grandmother, she's my guardian. She was kind of like seeding these nuggets, you know, to me. So I started creating tea blends for the chakras with intentions. Okay. So everything is more intentionally connecting to the body. So if you imagine if my body was just on fire, I was so disconnected from my body, I had to bring myself back in to really begin healing it and creating balance. So I started doing everything with intention. I started learning how crystals could help change the vibration of the body. I started walking outside with my shoes off. I started loving nature. I started, you know, doing the things that connected me back to self, and I began to feel much better. But I also knew that I was like, okay, well, this has happened to me for a reason. Why am I here? And what is this? What's the purpose of this? So at the beginning of my transformation journey, there was a caterpillar that perched itself on my little baby. Yeah, on my chair. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. It was me and my daughter's chair. So we got a chance to see that caterpillar change, and we chronicalized the days of it. And it emerged right when we walked back in, and we came out. I was like, we just missed it, you know? Okay. So I was like, this is telling me something. So when it came out, it literally walked with us. We held it. It was just such a beautiful moment. So I took that analogy and built Zen Soul Apothecary based off of that butterfly transformation journey. And that journey is something that we all experience that we just, that we don't even realize. So when I was in the phase where I could not move because my body was so tight and so in pain, that was the self-love version of the journey, where the caterpillar is going into the cocoon and he's like, okay, well, I don't know what this is, but I'm about to build this and just, do what I need to do and fly. But they may or may not know what's next, you know? So that focuses on the heart and the solar plexus, like the self-love, really creating that new love for self and the power, grabbing that power back. And then when that butterfly releases, when that caterpillar releases out of that cocoon, I consider that to be the lower 2 chakras, where you're releasing the old things. So he's no longer a crawler. He's like in the new world.
Yeah.
And
aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
Exactly.
Like we're all going through the same phase, like this caterpillar, right?
Exactly.
And we go through it multiple times in our life.
Multiple times, and being able to identify what phase you're in. And then after that, butterfly begins to realize that it's out of the cocoon. It begins to kind of little bit fly, a little bit walk. So that's the higher 2 chakras. And then when that butterfly began to really fly, the butterfly is flourishing. And I was just like, wow.
And you're just like, how can I put this in a bottle for everyone else?
Right.
Because now you're figuring it out for yourself.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, well, this has to be something. So that's how the Zen Soul Apothecary brand came up. It was more of kind of like my journey, but in products. And then I just made that into like an experiences for other people to experience as well. That's what I think
that's what I go back to that whole experience of it, right? Versus the product. So you mentioned a lot of things in there. You mentioned yourself at first.
Yes.
And then you also mentioned your daughter in this. And I know that your daughter plays a big role in a lot of this. And you've even said that you passed a lot of this down to her. And so can you tell me, like, just at a young age, right, how you pass it along to her, and how is she receiving that? Because you think about transformation and you think about where we are in life as older adults, but you also need to realize that our kids are taking on our energies. Our energy.
Yes.
Our kids are taking on this energy. And so how are you transforming her? Or most importantly, teaching her how to transform herself when she needs to, because she's going to take on a lot of things too as she goes into adulthood.
Exactly. She was very integral.
Yeah. Okay.
in the process of me. So she saw it all. I remember in the beginning, I had to literally send her to my mom for 2 weeks because I couldn't get out of bed. It was just like, I think I'm gonna die. I don't know what it is, and this is something I don't want to experience. But one day, I think she was like 5 or 6, and I came in her room. She had this little ukulele from her Hawaii trip a couple years ago, and she was like, "Come back, Mom." Like, she just made this whole song kind of like helping me remember who I was, but also just channeling a whole nother version of herself and me. And I was like, okay.
And you're like, she's 6.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But she tells me I'm beautiful, even on the days that, I feel like I'm unique. And she's been the driver, but also she's been able to observe the Phoenix Rising story. She sees it. She's so proud. And she knows how to play the sound bowls. She knows about crystals.
That's
she knows
amazing
all
at
of that.
such a young age.
Yeah. So she knows all. And a lot of times when I've done kid experiences, she will be the one that's playing the bowls as well, because it's so important in this world of chaos and so many distractions that you know how to reset and breathe. That you know how to, navigate how you feel, or even to not go into spaces that feel unsafe.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching her how to trust her gut and her intuition, and also how to show up in the world that everybody else is in, but be kind of protected in it.
And I think there's a balance in that, right? Like, you got to show up, you got to be relaxed, but you also have to be protected. So you have to show up like you're secure and you're safe, but you also have to show up like you're protected, and which is sometimes this little bit of insecurity, right? And making sure you're being protected. And so it's kind of this balance that you have to find within yourself, I think, like when you're searching for your energy. And I think energy is really interesting to me, because I gotta say, like, for a long time, I didn't know much about energy. Now, I did have people always used to say to me, you have great energy. I didn't know what the heck that meant. I was like, what does that mean? You know, like, I feel like I'm a good person. I'm a good human. I try to do the right thing by people in the world and the community. But now I'm really starting to kind of know what that means when people say, like, when you walk into a room and you just feel something is off. And then, you know, you realize, no, something is really off here. You realize what that is. Somebody might tell you something that says, that's what I was feeling. You know what I mean? And I don't want to speak bad of people or things, but you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you can figure it out, like, yeah, I was feeling that. I just didn't know what it meant.
Right.
I feel like that's where energy is kind of, or the opposite, right? You feel like, this person's a really great person, or this space is a really great space, you know? So I think it's interesting the way energy plays a role in our
in our lives.
Every day.
Every day. I think, so when people say you have great energy, I think it's more so of you're not holding on to a lot of the traumas that some people hold on to, which is making them, you show up more heavy. So that's a beautiful thing, you know?
I didn't never know what it meant. And I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a funny story. When I used to live in California, I had a small apartment. And I had 2 cats. And you know, they say animals are really good with energy. So I had somebody come into my house or come into my apartment, and they said, I'm bringing a friend. I said, okay, you can bring a friend, but just let them know that I have 2 cats. And the person that they were bringing, I could hear them saying, I don't like cats. Cats are stupid. I don't like cats. Cats are dumb. Why cats? Cats are ugly. I hate cats. And I'm like, well, then why are you coming over?
Right.
Like, I'm saying that I have 2 cats, and I'm telling you before you get here, if your friend doesn't want cats, then maybe they shouldn't come. I'm saying all this out loud. And you know, I live in an apartment in LA. I mean, you don't know, you didn't see it, but it was so small. It was like a box. So the person came over. They brought the person that hated cats into the place. Do you know that my cat ran over and scratched that girl? And she was so livid, and I was like, oh my gosh, I told you I had cat, but my cat felt the energy all the way, you know, that she was just coming in his space, hating. Now, I don't like that the cat scratched her, but the cat felt the energy, right? And some people just, I said, oh, yeah, he felt, Max, he felt her energy. She was just not nice, or not nice to cats, you know? So it is true. And animals probably, I don't know if they feel it more than we do.
They do.
But we should pay more of attention to it.
Exactly. They really do. I would say one of the things that the journey that I went on, although very, very challenging, and every now and then I have another one of those butterfly, you know, moments, but I know how to handle it a little differently. I don't go to the, oh, woe is me, you know, so every time I have a breakout, just because I'm one of those people that was born with a lot of sensitivities, so a lot of food sensitivities, and I'm also learning I have a lot of energetic allergies.
Yeah. You know energetic allergies. Me too. I'm writing down that. Energetic allergies.
Right. So I get into situations and I'm like, or around certain people, and I'm like, I don't feel good. You know, or, itchy or whatever the case may be. But it has made me so much more beautiful inside and outside that I can't even imagine. I don't know. I love showing up as me now, even though I had to go through a lot to get here.
So you made me think of something. Your work and the Apothecary product and experience. Because you're always going to run up against somebody that has bad energy and you can't get out of the way. So how can people take what you do and say, you know what? I'm going to be in a room sometimes somebody with some bad energy, and I'm not going to be able to get out. You know? Is there anything people can do to like say to themselves, okay, your energy is not, I'm not taking that on.
Yeah.
And then that worries me because I think about, because I think you get tense, you get this and that. Well, maybe you should just kind of chill and let their energy be their energy and your energy be your energy.
Right. Well, yeah, that would be ideal. However, a lot of us are very, a lot of us are empaths, so we feel it more intensely. But we don't have the tools to kind of just be an observer of it. So it still happens to me now when I'm in situations in groups where it's more of an intense energy that I have secluded myself from, but then I'm like, oh man, I haven't been around this type of energy in a long time. How could I not make it stick? So I do a practice where I just do like a box breath, breathe in 4 times, hold it, release 4 times, hold it. Do a cycle of that, and then like envision like a bubble around me of safety and not allowing anything to penetrate. And that typically makes me feel invincible. I don't know if that's just me. But I'm like, nope, I'm just an observer. Anything that happens outside of this bubble just bounces off, and I just,
I think that's what I have to work on, because sometimes I can be an observer, but then I'm like, you know how they say you hold it on your face or you this and that, and I'm like, yeah, that's me, because I'm not like, and I've told this story before that sometimes I just literally, like if I'm out in public and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I got to take a couple notches. I have to go to the to the ladies' room and just stand in the stall and just
pull it all back.
Pull it together.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm out of whack, and that's the only way I can get like 2 or 3 minutes to myself, where I can just go in the restroom, and it's a crazy place to go. But sometimes when you're in public, you're just like, I can't go anywhere else. Got to go here and just stand in the stall and, breathe. Yeah. You talk about, I wrote down business strategy, wellness, storytelling, and spirituality. So tell me how that all interweaves, because I'm with the spiritual and I'm with the wellness. Weave in the storytelling and the business for me.
Okay. So I have a offering that's called Building a Business with Zen.
Okay.
My spiritual name is Zen Goddess.
Okay.
And a lot of times people they want to start a business, however, they don't know where to start. And a lot of times they don't have the authenticity of who they are reflected in their product. Okay. So the storytelling comes from me sitting with the business owner, really finding out who they are, what their purpose is, what they truly want to do, and how we could align a business that speaks their voice, that looks like them, that breathes their story within their product. So weaving their true authenticity and being able to create something that breathes and reads them.
Okay. No, I think I get that, because I didn't know how to package that with the strategy. However, I think I even feel like that for myself. Like, I know I'm an intense person. I know I'm intense. I'm an A, I'm thinking, I'm overthinking, I'm thinking again. I know that. I'm a talker, right? I know I love that. And I always tell people that I have this report card from my mom from a long time ago, and it says that I got in trouble for talking. And I have all the good grades. Back then, they used to give you S's and S pluses and S minuses. I have all the good grades, and then I have an S minus for talking. So it's like, I'm an intense talker, and here I am doing this now, right? And I know that I'm intense, so sometimes I need to work on relaxing, but I also know that I love to talk, and I love people's storytelling and journeys. So it's led me to, this is why I created my own show, because I wanted to, learn people's stories, to hear more storytelling, but also for me, working on the relaxing part of it, which is why I think, the health and wellness, my own health and wellness journey comes into play, and hearing the own health and wellness journeys of others, because I need to know, one, with all my chronic illnesses, that I'm taking putting that at the forefront of my life, and two, just learning things like what you do to help me along, because this intense talker, thinker, needs to relax.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it is, as a woman that is a doer, as you are, we have to also make sure we have time to receive what we put out so much. So just creating I call it a Zen reset or a Zen moment in the beginning of your day, or even before, you start a show. Like, when we were doing this, I was just sitting, I was visualizing, I was breathing, I was grounding myself. That's important, so you can show up more of yourself in that space.
And I think it's so important, because when you put yourself around people, like I always tell Takia, like, one thing I appreciate about her is that she knows I'm a quirky overthinker, talker, and she would tell you that. You know what I mean? But I appreciate that she lets me do that and then puts me in my own, like, I let her trust her with some of the things she tells me, because I don't know, and that's a lot for me, because I have to give up what I don't know. But then at the same time, she has to probably give up some of the things, she's like, okay, T's a talker, T's gonna ask this question, and gonna ask this question, But she's going to be okay with it once she understands it. So I think when you're running your business, you do have to make it be authentically you, or else the longevity's not going to be there.
Not at all.
And so you also have to balance the authenticity and the you with the business. So that's why I wanted to learn more about that, because I think it's important that when you do create businesses, you create them that they are your authentic self. And everybody's not going to love them. Some people are going to hate them.
Exactly.
Some people are going to think you have the craziest idea in the world. And some of the craziest ideas in the world are the ones that make it.
Exactly.
Right? So I wanted to hear about how you blended Zen with business.
Absolutely.
Because they're kind of, they can fight against each other
exactly.
sometimes.
And even with my company, Solo Noir, I had that business. It started off as a graduate school project. And it's a skincare line for men. And for the last
that in itself. Tell me more.
So exactly. So when I created it at the time, it was really nothing in the market space. That was before a lot of the other products now. However, I always had a kind of like a wall where, okay, I'm selling something that is not for me, but it's for the man that I would like to see, you know?
Yeah.
But since this evolution of me, Solo Noir has always been a wellness, like it's always been a lifestyle brand. So I've named all the products after positive attributes for men, smooth, dapper, refined, sleek, because I want them to show up in the world that way. But now that I've shifted into more of the wellness space, I am bringing in that wellness to the Solo Noir man, because you can't be fine and be empty.
And not be well.
And not be well. So
we want you fine and well.
Trust me, we do. So merging that together is something that I am weaving through the storytelling. Okay, now we have this. How do we get the men well?
Yeah, and telling their stories, right? Because a lot of men don't want to share their stories, you know, for whatever reason, you know. So I think the part of wellness is being okay with, you know, either sharing your story with somebody. It doesn't have to be me or you or whoever, but you know, that's a whole nother topic. I think is the sharing of our stories and our partners sharing of our stories, male or female sharing of our stories. So I think that's important. Tell us more specifics. We're gonna start to wrap up here about what to expect from you, from your businesses, from your transformation, what to expect from you.
So I am working on a few things. I am working on my app.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Zen Reset app. It should be completed soon.
Okay, nice.
So it essentially is providing a platform for people to do like a daily check-in with themselves, and then they'll know if are you in your self-love journey? Are you in your release? Like what part of the butterfly? And then it's going to give you a journal prompts, and then I'll have videos and things like that. So that's one thing. But then I'm also going to be doing more community-based wellness programs. So that's always fun. I love the instant gratification of seeing people have that aha moment with themselves and walk out feeling better. That, and then who knows? I've been helping other brands create authentic brands for them. So that's something that's fun. So yeah.
A lot's to come.
A lot's to come. So more things that I can even think of.
Open this.
Yes, please.
And then we're going to tell people where to find you. So
absolutely.
I hope people can see this. I'm going to open it for the first time. Let's see if I can get it.
So it has the journeys of the butterfly.
The journeys. Okay. Read the
cocoon.
Because
So cocoon is self-love. Yep. You have your emerge, which is your lower chakras, your rising, and then your flourishing. So you're balanced once you...
I love this guy or girl.
Yes, both.
I'm like... All right.
So
you
have some sage there. That's more so for creating open space energetically for yourself in the space that you're walking into, and it shows you how to do that. A lot of people are like, okay, what do I do? I see the sage. What do I do?
Yeah.
That's blue sage with rose, so it resonates with self-love.
Think positive thoughts to welcome in balance and harmony.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
You can do that all over yourself, from your feet to your head to your toe, or you can do it in your home.
So you said blue sage. Is there different types of sages?
There's all types of sages.
Okay, because I didn't even know that.
So essentially, you can, any herb that dries, you can use it for cleansing of some sort. So you can do rosemary for new beginnings. You can do yerba santa, palo santo.
Okay.
It's an ancient practice that our ancestors did long time ago.
So all those other herbs come in something like this? Because I've only seen just a sage bundle.
Yeah, I have a rosemary bundle. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
You can do eucalyptus. You can do lavender.
Okay, I love
It's all about the
lavender, too.
intention.
I tried to grow lavender, but oh, that was another thing I wanted to tell you. You talked about the earth, and you just reminded me too. Like I've just started gardening, and that is one of the most healing things I've started to do. Like being in the earth, like being, you know, like getting my hands dirty, and even though it's not great for my hands, you putting on my little gloves, or even not putting on my gloves, repotting my plants. I've been all over it lately. So I think that's one of my healing things. Do tell.
So that is a raw carnelian.
Can I take this out of here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I love working with raw, many people call them rocks or crystals. So that is its raw phase. So if you would see a carnelian in maybe like a crystal shop, it'd be probably polished and things like that. But it has less touches, so I feel like it's more high vibrational.
Okay.
And the carnelian crystal is really good for your sacral chakra, which is your womb space.
Okay.
It's really good for grounding and creativity.
Okay. So what do I do? Where do I put this?
So with any crystals, you can carry them on you.
Okay.
But if you're holding and you want your body to feel energy, you keep it in your left hand. The left side of the body is the receiving side, so you're going to receive it into the body. You could also keep it in your room. Keep it in your pocket or anywhere you feel like you would, in your office since it's a creative.
So I need
crystal.
like 1 million of these because I need like one in my car, one in my house, one in my
You
bag.
can absolutely do that. And then you could charge those with full moon, allowing the full moon to kiss the crystal, or you could also cleanse it with like salt water.
So when they say charge it, when there's a full moon, am I supposed to take it outside?
You can take it outside or put it on your windowsill, wherever the moon passes.
Got it. When there's a full moon though.
Yes.
Okay. So I got to make sure I know when that is. Oh, what are these?
So these are, I created this affirmation card deck, and it takes you on a 52-day journey to balance your heart and your solar plexus. So there's journal prompts, yoga poses, things to do in nature, herbs, herbs that are associated with those two chakras. And it's something I'm really proud of. That's the first and only deck now. I'm waiting on the inspiration and the time to create the others, but that will get you started on creating a self-love moment every day. You just pick a card and see where the journey takes you.
All right.
And then if you're a loose tea drinker, that is a crystal-infused tea dropper. You put your loose tea in there, allow the crystal to hang outside of your mug, and just drink with intention.
There we go. And this is you.
That is more.
Ta-da. So tell people one more time where to find you. And we have one more question.
Yes. So I am the Zen Goddess 2 on Instagram and social media. And pretty soon you'll be able to find me on your app store.
Well, thank you for this.
You're welcome.
I can't wait to try it all.
Yes.
I actually like this. I think it's going to be one of my favorite things.
Thank you.
That's why I was like, I might need more. Because
Yeah,
I feel like I
have them
should
all.
take one in everywhere, in my spaces, like my car, my house, my work bag.
Yeah,
different
and you
spaces.
can also, another cool thing about crystals is you can kind of program it to vibrate the way you want it to vibrate. So if since that's for the womb or creativity, you could just, imagine it just giving you all these bursts of creative ideas.
Yeah. It's funny because I found a rock, I don't even know anything about it, but I just found one at the beach one time. And I've had it for a long time, and I kind of painted on it. And I think these, now that I know this has a specific purpose. Mine didn't have any purpose.
Well, no, you just probably, when I'm at the beach, I collect so many of those, because a lot of those are I found quartz, I found jades, I found carnelians. They're the same thing. You just don't really sometimes know what crystal or rock it is or what mineral it is.
It's just something that spoke to me.
Yeah. So that's your magic rock there.
So, so far so good.
Good.
Okay, so wrapping it up. This is the last question, and I never sent it to anybody. Okay. So, 2 cats I save in my backyard. Cats and curiosity.
Oh.
What are you curious about?
Oh gosh, what am I curious about? That's a good question. I am curious about curious but patient, how this journey is actually going to end. I am aware of all the pitfalls and the stops along my journey, but I am curious to see what it's all leading to. But I'm patient. I am patient and I am enjoying the journey.
I love that you're curious and patient.
Mm-hmm.
I can do one or the other. I'm not going to be patient and curious because I don't, I'm an overthinker, but I'm not going to be curious.
I think when you're curious and patient, you're allowing for the whimsical moments to unfold, but you're just patient enough to see where it leads.
Yeah, I need that. I'm saying, yeah, I got you. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the items. Please, if one more time, tell people.
ZenSoulApothecary.com for the wellness products, SoloNoir4Men.com for the skincare products, and my personal Instagram page is the Zen Goddess 2, and pretty soon you'll be able to purchase the Zen Reset app.
Perfect. We can't wait. So thank you everyone for joining me. I truly, truly appreciate it. If you have a story and would like to be on the show, I would love to have you. If you know someone who has a health and wellness story, I would love to have them as well. I'm on social at I am Terran L. You can also find the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Again, my social, I am Terran L. Thank you so much for joining me. Be good to yourself and each other.
Thank you.
Thank you.